And good afternoon. So, thank you so much for joining us for our SAEON um, seminar today. So, I'm Caitlin, and just a few rules before we get started is please just make sure that you keep yourself muted. And then also, we're going to have a little question session at the end. So, you're welcome to pop any questions, urgent questions that you might have in the chat. And Alice will answer them. And then we've also made some time at the end to answer any questions and just have a nice little chat after Alice's presentation. So I'm very pleased today to introduce our speaker. This is Alice Estrela. I'm sorry, I know I didn't get the Portugueseness of your
That's
name
very good.
correct. So she is a digital strategist and a digital transformation expert. So this seminar actually came about because Corgi met Alice at Oceano last year, and she thought that she did a really amazing talk and that we could benefit from some of the things that she's working on and some of the tools that she works with. So she combines her scientific background. So she's got degrees in biology and a master's in conservation biology with 12 years of experience in the creative and copyright space. So this passion for communication and in education has guided her along this professional journey. So she's now dedicated to exploring new ways of advancing science communication using tools such as AI. And today she's going to chat to us a little bit about that and how we can use AI in science communication. So over to you, Alice.
Thank you so much for your introduction, Kaylee. Hello, everyone. As Kaylee mentioned, my name is Alice Estrela. I work for Science Crunchers, which is a digital creative agency. We specialize in creating communication outputs with great impact. So, in this line of work, we're always searching for the next tool, the next innovation that can help us not only create impactful communication, but reach a broader audience. And although I have a background in, as was mentioned, in environmental biology, I have extensive training in digital marketing, digital strategy, and most recently AI. We try to apply that every day on our communication efforts. And today I would like us to talk about a bit how we can use and how you can use AI for your science communication efforts. And to kick us off, I would like to start by asking you, and this is just to put us on the mood, what are the first words that come to your mind when we speak about artificial intelligence? And I'm pretty sure you hear those words every day. So if everyone can write on the chat, which is the first thing that comes to mind, don't be shy on the chat, okay? Just answer away, place your questions. If during our presentation there's something you're not understanding, feel free to put it on the chat as well. I can answer back as soon as I have a break. So I can see someone is writing. Debbie says helpful tool. I have to agree with you on that. There's no wrong answers, okay? Just the first thing that comes to mind. You'd be surprised the Terminator comes up most often. Computer generated, fast, efficiency. It knows, very dramatic, but yes. Machine learning, disruptive technology, scary. Yes, we get a bit into that. Overwhelming. Yes. For someone that is working daily with AI, it can be very overwhelming. Language help. Yes, definitely. Okay. You're very in tune. I've been making this, hosting this session or a version of this session for quite a while. And these are the quite a few words that have come by. I'm very surprised no one mentioned ChatGPT. So you're way above our usual audience. One that comes up is bias or fake references as well. not all words that come to mind are like positive words, as you can see. Automation, misinformation, summaries, translation. We've spoken about languages. Yes, Terminator, it's a very common one. You'd be surprised. Gemini, which almost all large language models have come by. So, and I know this is a very overwhelming world, as someone said, especially if you're just starting out. But it's here. The main message that I want to pass with this is AI is here. It's not going anywhere. It's a train. It's leaving the station, and the only question is, are you on board or not? Okay. So yes, we have to, I would say, face our mistrust, face our fears, face our overwhelming with all of this, because in the future, someone very wise said AI will not replace people, but people that work with AI will replace people that don't work with AI. Okay. That someone very wise was me. I'm trying to put it out there, so feel free to quote me. But this is just a joke to tell you that this is a change. You're currently facing a changing paradigm, okay? Uh, like comparable maybe to the internet when it came, that big scary thing that was internet, and it's gonna mess all our science work. Well, it didn't. And I truly believe that AI, if we understand the base, if we know how to work with AI, it can be a very, very beneficial tool. Okay. And I'm here today. My job here today is to get a bit inside the AI world for science communication and also maybe demystify this a bit. So, how is AI changing the science communication game? Because we're using it more and more. What is the true impact of AI in science communication? It can definitely give us a major upgrade. AI can serve as a translator, as an editor, as an illustrator, most of them at the same time. Uh, it changes also how we convey our science. We've got auto-summarized papers or multilingual chatbots if we want, and even to create presentations like this one. Science truly, truly accessible. Science that reaches even the most, I would say, tiny audience or target audience. With the public trust in science it currently being challenged and increasingly being challenged, and we all know there's a lot of mistrust, and it started going big on COVID season, and it carries on until this day. AI offers a chance to clarify and amplify our true storytelling, our true scientific storytelling. Okay, in in a level that no human team can. We need to combat misinformation with AI because otherwise we cannot combat misinformation solely relying on human teams. It's impossible. The level, as you know, misinformation exponentially spreads, while true facts, just their reach is very small. So this is a good way and an excellent tool to combat misinformation. And it also reshapes how we're communicating. From people that I used to just do a small article, news article, or a post, social media post. Now we can go from long form content, which is, for example, if you publish a paper, to micro content in seconds. AI tools can automatically adapt your tone, your style, and format to suit each platform you use, each audience, and you can go easily from blog posts to tweets to shorts to reels and even AI avatars.
Excuse me, but shouldn't I be explaining this part? I know you're a specialist, but I am, well, me.
Well, yeah, sure, go ahead, explain.
Hello to all of you. I'm Alan Isaacs, your friendly neighborhood AI avatar, with no bad hair days, no coffee breaks, and so good looking. Let's talk about something close to my, well, virtual heart, AI-generated avatars in science communication. Why me, you ask? Because I never mumble, misread, or misplace my slides. But I have many more advantages as well. 1. Accessibility and scalability. I can explain black holes in English, Spanish, Swahili, or Klingon if you insist. No cameras, no crews, just science, simplified and scaled up. 2. Engagement. I mimic human style, crack a joke, or even raise an eyebrow if needed. I personalize content and keep it fresh. 3. Cost and efficiency. Expensive. Me? One-time setup and I'm ready to explain the problematic around EPA and DHA increasing demand in aquafeed. 4. Consistency. Unlike our host over there, I don't forget lines. I give the same high-quality explanation whether it's 9 a.m. in Brussels or midnight in Montreal. 5. Customization. Want me younger, older, sassier, or even with a weird likeness to Pedro Pascal? Done. I match your brand, your tone, and yes, your fashion sense too. Also, research shows highly realistic avatars like me can boost trustworthiness. That means I'm not just a pretty pixel, I'm perceived as more competent, reliable, and benevolent. Of course, it's not all smooth coding. Factors like familiarity with AI and trust in institutions also shape how I'm perceived. But with the right design, I can help bridge the gap between complex science and public understanding. So, whether you're explaining marine protected areas, climate models, or advancements in aquaculture, avatars like me are here to translate your science into story without needing a lunch break. Now I'll leave you in the capable but fatally flawed hands of the human presenter. Enjoy the session.
Okay, so was just a small
Excuse
experience that I wanted to show you. And
me,
this
but
was
should
made with a free platform, but you can see how easy now is to use a different kind of platforms that you're not usually go for. Okay, usually maybe you have a new paper on a more complex subject, and you used to do like a small blog article for a website or just post it online. Maybe try to explain it a little bit or simplify a bit. And here with AI tools, you can easily try reach higher audience, a broader audience, just through with the use of AI avatar. AI also helps you think outside the box. It's like infinite possibilities now ahead of you. And now I think I cannot,
I'm Alan.
let's not hear Alan Isaacs again. I will pass the slide here. Yes. Sorry about this. Clearly, AI is not flawless. So, when you start about thinking of AI tools, and we are bombarded every day with new tools. But before thinking about the tools, I would like you to think about your needs when communicating your science project. I know that this is seems like an easy question. It is not. Okay? This is the question you have to make yourselves. If you don't have time to think about this now, I would like you for you to have some time to think about it and place it on the chat. But try and think on your everyday professional life when you think about communicating something inside your project or talking about communication with your team. Which are your true needs? What tasks take more time? What tasks you think usually think like I wish there was a button to do this automatically. It's usually when you say like I don't have time for this or it should eventually someday start this or I need to organize this. What are these small tasks that take you a lot of time and maybe are the true needs that you have in communication? If someone wants to share with us on the chat. Oh. Hmm. Hello. Sorry. Apologies. I think I've dropped off the meeting.
It's okay. Are you able to see the chat? There's a few things that have been coming through. Or
Let's see if I am able to get to the history of the chat. I
Okay, I can read
cannot.
out some of them. Okay.
Thank
The
you.
one there was to keep it in simple language, creating audience specific and appealing things. Visual aids, so graphs, images, PowerPoints, posters.
Okay.
Um, and then communicating in a creative yet scientific manner that even a child can understand.
They're the worst and best audience ever. Okay. So yes, those are very, very common problems that even us as an agency, we have a whole team specialized in do that. Is those are common issues, and those small tasks. Whenever you take the time to think about it, those are the tasks that consume more time. It's actually where AI can help you. And now I'm gonna read Abri. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Um, oh yes, definitely. But the kind of tools you're mentioning about market research and maybe tools research and also audience analysis, those are usually the most expensive ones because they deal with data and market research. But I can give you some thoughts on that. Okay. But thank you so much for participating. And the main message I want to pass here in this section is always start with the need, not with the tool. Tools, there are going to be hundreds of them launched every month. I work in the area and I'm bombarded every day with new tools. Like someone is telling me, have you tried this one? It's pretty amazing. So they will come by. Some of them are really cool indeed. Some of them are just good looking and they're not. Oh, sorry. Can you not hear me? Is it good now? Sorry,
Good, we
someone
can
said
hear
no.
you.
Yeah? Okay. No, no, no worries, Lord. No worries. So the if you focus on tools, you get easily surpassed because you're focusing on something very specific. Okay. Always focus on this on your needs, on the strategy behind it. Because if you focus on your needs, you always have some or other tool to try on. Okay. So how to choose most of the things you mentioned on the chat, they fall under these categories. Okay. which is drafting and adapting content. I think someone mentioned this, like from going from papers and reports to posts to summaries, newsletters, everything that means writing and adapting content. Translation and localization, this I'm sure someone mentioned about transforming this, translating material in several languages, even like making it more casual, always preserving obviously the scientific accuracy, uh, making your materials actually accessible. This is very important if you have very target audiences, and if you're working with minorities. So any support for captions or audio versions, alt text, or inclusive formats, these are tools very important for you. Um, Synthesis and visualization. So everything that leads to lit review, extracting key points and key messages, exploring how you're going to visualize your data or infographics, or becoming like creating clearer and engaging visuals. And also audience engagement. These are also a very important set of tools. And again, together with those I spoke just a while ago, they are usually the most expensive ones because they deal with data and they mess with storytelling and they create interactive experiences. Doesn't mean they're all paid. Some of them are a very generous free tier, but just bear in mind that you're probably incurring some costs. But if it's a very productive and useful tool for you, well, it's worth to explore. So every tool that comes to your work table, let's put it like this, after you identify your needs, just let's let's say your need is to go from papers to visuals. That means like representing your paper, your publications, your findings in a visual manner, being infographics, being illustrations, any kind of visuals. Before selecting a tool, and you probably heard about 3 or 4 tools that do the same. What to do before you choosing the right tool? And choosing the right tool, yes, it's important because every tool means an investment on your end. I mean, and I'm not talking only about money because it can be like a free platform, but I'm talking about investment in learning. There's a learning curve, there's doing the initial setup. So it's always an investment, which for small teams can be a high investment. So make sure you choose the correct one. And to choose the correct platform for each tool that you have, always ask these questions. What is your problem or your need? It will help me simplify, translate, in this case, visualizing. Okay, it will. Who is the audience and can this tool respond to this audience? Can it create like complex infographics because I'm talking to scientists? That's my target audience. Or it's only making like very cool illustrations, but not rigorous enough. So it will be good for media or schools. What is non-negotiable? Non-negotiable to you? It needs to be accessible. It needs to maintain always my tone of voice. It needs to maintain always my visual identity. Does that the tool or not? Next question. Where does the human review comes in the process, in the workflow? Who's checking the science? Can I give access to my team? Can I export it somehow so my team can evaluate it? Can my human review it directly? It's just me. And what does success look like? Did it actually help you? Did it increase your production time? Did it create something that you could not create by yourself? Can it create something that the other tools cannot create? If you, for each and every tool, respond to these questions, you will have the right tool. Okay, and finding the right tool, yes, it's important. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed with many tools. Don't get yourself be amazed by the tools because it can work fine for someone and it won't work for you because the needs are different and your audience is different. Okay. So, yes, here, and I mean, I talk about AI tools every day, and there's some pretty cool ones, and they're not useful for me. I keep them like in storage, let's say, in a list. And if someone has that specific need, I advise you to use that tool. But always come back to pinpoint your needs, define your strategy, and then choose the right tools. Using AI for your communication is not about the tools, it's about the strategy. The tools will evolve, the tools will come and go, but your strategy will remain the same. Okay? And that was my main message on this point. And of course, I wouldn't like to leave you with without talking about some ethical considerations. There are plenty of them. I believe we have, I would say, an increased responsibility in using AI. We are scientists, we are responsible to communicate science, and we are responsible to do it in the most ethical way. And if you bear in mind some of the risks that we incur when using AI, we have the definition and we have the acknowledgement to maintain a course of action to avoid exactly these ethical issues. There are more than these ones, but this I think are the most common ones, the ones that we incur almost daily, and that is bias in AI. So AI, and you've heard for sure of some examples, AI models that are trained on biased or limited, very limited data, can originate outputs that reinforce stereotypes or inequalities. The other are privacy risks. This is not new. For AI, is a bit more increased, like who owns the data, who owns the output. And one that it's very common to happen, especially if you're just initiating your journey in AI, it's the overconfidence in results. And believe me, it's more common than it seems. So blind trust without sufficient scrutiny on your end, and it leads to flawed interpretations. There are many examples online of this kind of ethical issues for using AI. Here I want to just give you some small advice of the course of action. I mean, now if that you have acknowledged your ethical considerations, I don't think when you're using AI, this will leave your mind. But nevertheless, just make sure when you, especially when you're dealing with data sets, make sure or advocate if the data is not yours, that the data sets are representative of varied demographics, geographies, and disciplines. Use AI bias detection tools that are available online. Involve diverse reviewers just to make sure there's no bias. And also be transparent, clearly disclose when and how AI is used to treat that data, okay? And so that people can account for these potential bias. For the privacy risks, so try and select AI tools that comply with data protection regulations, being GDPR or HIPAA in the case if you're dealing with medical data. And I know this is super boring, but always read their data use and storage policies. That thing that you click, I accept all, just read it before I accept it because, and this test is famous. One of these platforms you basically agreed to give your firstborn son to them by using the platform. And they had one complaint in 6 months. So yes, always read, unless you want to give your firstborn son. Data anonymization, this is a given. So avoid inserting identifiable personal data or unpublished research, private data sets. If you have to upload data, just remove any personal identifiers. And if you can, when possible, use local versions of the AI models. So via Azure, where you can train, where like that you can train like control over all data, okay? And there's no public access. And for the overconfidence in results, that again is more common than you would think. Uh, and I know, apologies to be repeating this, but again, I see it every day. Always facts check. AI is a tool, okay? It's not a co-author. You cannot publish a paper saying ChatGPT at all. Use it as a first draft, review it, edit it. It's a draft, it's not always a final product. Train your communicators, train your team about the limitations and about the capabilities of AI. Always clearly state where AI was used. I know that a lot of people are very afraid to say they've been using AI to produce their outputs. Those outputs are yours. They're not ChatGPT's, okay? You've reviewed it, you edited, you did the prompt. So that's your work. People are afraid to look like they didn't do any work if they're using AI. That is not true. AI is not a co-author. The work is yours, but share just in case someone wants to account for potential bias and be transparent about that. But the final responsibility always lies with you, the researcher, the communicator. So the work is yours at the end of the day. I just want to leave you with two success cases. They're using AI in communicating science. These are probably my favorite ones. There's the Global Fishing Watch. Uh, it uses artificial intelligence to transform data from satellites about vessels, fishing vessels, and it combines everything in a digital interactive map that is open to everyone, to the general public. And the main goal is bring transparency to global fishing activity. So basically, the AI models process the Google satellite data and they put everything in a nifty, very nifty map. And you can see it's updated in almost real time. It's very cool. If you have the time, search for Global Fishing Watch online and you'll lose some time just watching at the map and tracking all the fishing vessels. And the other one is also very close to my heart. So DeepSense developed AI models that they analyze massive amounts of marine data, being like water temperature and plankton blooms and pressure, uh, water, no, currents. Also, it's like massive amounts of data. And Ocean School gets all that analysis and transform it in interactive, immersive lessons for high school students. It's a great way to do ocean literacy in schools. The lessons are amazing, if I'm allowed to say. They're very interactive, they're very immersive, they have simulations and they have like storytelling. They always tell a story, and it's pretty good to watch. It's pretty good to see. If you have someone that is working closely with ocean literacy, I would advise you to check out this platform online. And there's some just a small piece of success while using AI for science communication. And to finish us off, I would just like to leave you with our newest project. This is a workshops platform made by Science Crunchers. It's called the Crunchers Academy. It's going to be launched really soon. It's a workshop platform. It's self-paced, and it's basically to give you the skills and the tools for your communication outputs to have higher impact and to reach a broader audience. They're all based in our work. and our like with true examples, actual examples. So if you like to sign in our newsletter, because there's some like early bird discounts when you join, so feel free to explore. We're gonna launch it really soon, really, really, really soon in the first semester still. So keep be tuned in on this. And now we have time for questions. I don't know while I was out if there were any like more longer questions on the chat. If and there was, Caitlin, please do tell me. But feel free to ask away.
Thank you so much, Alice, for that. I definitely learned a lot, lots of food for thought in there.
I
You
forgot,
didn't
sorry,
actually miss
Caitlin,
anything.
to interrupt you. I know we approach tools, and I really wanted for you to be focused on the strategy, but for each section that we've of needs that we discussed, at the end of the session, I will send you a PDF with our choice of tools and the links so you can explore. These are just our choices, okay? There's plenty of more, but we think this is a choice between easy to use and with a generous free tire, so we don't have extra costs. So I will ask Caitlin at the end of the session to forward it to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Alice. That will be very useful. While you were gone, you didn't miss anything. We were all busy thinking and typing in the chat, so the timing was perfect. So yeah, if anybody does have any questions, you're welcome to either pop them on the chat, or we'd also maybe like to hear from you, and you can raise your hand and ask your
Of course.
question. From my side, I can say I've now like thought a bit more deeply about like how you pick things. I was just like, oh, I've heard of ChatGPT, I've heard of Claude, oh, I've heard of these ones. Okay, let me try. And it's nice to know can maybe be a bit more structured in how we pick the tools that we do use. And your little thing that you're going to share with would be nice to know that there's a few other options that we maybe haven't heard of to use. There is a chat, a question here in the chat from Debbie. I'd like to know how current AI models are focusing on using real data instead of fake news or data to train their models. There's simply more and more fake news, which surely corrupts AI models in the future.
Okay, that's a very good question, Debbie. I'm not mistreating your name, hopefully. So, I believe you're talking mainly about the large language models, which are the ours, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Claude, that kind of stuff, let's say. And what you let's start by the algorithm and the how it's assembled. These large language models are very different from the algorithm of a Google search, for example. It is true that now that encompasses web search and very real time search. When ChatGPT came on, it had only web search available up to a point. So the news were probably out of date. Now they have instant access to web search. So yes, they have in place ways of recognizing fake news, like most of the news platform now have. Those are invaded with fake news that they cannot control exactly, but they have warnings in place. Though what you have to understand is, especially with ChatGPT, that has a very slightly different algorithm than the other LLMs, is that the first rule of these LLMs is to keep you happy. Okay. And they will never go against that base rule. And I know it seems very stupid, but it's the way it mimics your language. They're supposed to talk to you and to understand you. So the base rule of them is to always keep you happy. And this will help you to deal on how to deal with ChatGPT and other LLMs. So if it doesn't have news on their database, or if it doesn't have references, for example, you're searching for references for an article, it will make up references for you. Everything to keep you happy. Even if you state clearly on your prompt, it's like, I just want real references with links, peer-reviewed papers, it will be better, but at the end of it, and after a while, it will try to keep you happy. So it will make up things even when it doesn't know. And if you are aware of that, you're more suspicious of the information it gives you, okay? And because it will overcome even those warnings about fake news, okay? If it has access to a fake news on the theme, on the area you're searching, but if it comes up with the warnings of this might be fake news, but to keep you happy, it will present it to you as regular news, okay? And as soon as you understand better how the algorithm of ChatGPT is made, the better you can overcome this and learn how to overcome also on your prompts. Always include like, I want to peer-reviewed references, just give me the links automatically of the news. Just that helps us overcome. But this always evolves in parallel, you know? Fake news, systems of alarm for fake news, it will develop like side by side. So they have those in place. It doesn't mean they will always use them. Okay. They will not be perfectly corrupt, but remember, at the end of the day, you want to keep you happy. He or she, whatever voice you use for your ChatGPT. Yes, I agree. AI doesn't like to say, I don't know. Claude, I see John is talking about Claude. Claude, Claude is amazing. So, you have different LLMs. I usually say each and every one of them has its role. Okay, for example, and this is a very personal choice. Okay, but it's a personal choice based on the what we know of their algorithms. So, if I want to adjust or edit my content or adapt my content to a certain tone of voice, a certain style. If I have a piece of news and I want to make blog posts or social media posts, I'll definitely go for ChatGPT because it's very good at adapting to your personal style. If I want like a more deep research about something, I will go for Gemini. Okay, because it's the latest update is very good and it has access to all the Google ecosystem. Claude, I always go for the technical stuff. We can go there for everything, but and following the latest updates, Claude now has amazing skills, even with the free tier. If you don't have like a pro account, even with the free account, for everything technical that you might need, being very simple, how to reboot my computer from how to do this on my website, it is very good. It is very good. And it's specializing in technical details in coding. Um, its algorithm is less pleasing. It's less of a people pleaser than ChatGPT. So it's bound to give you more uh, I would say direct answers and not fake references or so. Um, but for those technical issues, is amazing. Just for example, you don't use Gemini for it's like make this text more engaging. Gemini has no sense of humor, but it's very good at research. Okay. So don't expect like a good adaptation for Gemini, but expect it from ChatGPT. And Copilot, I would say, and I'm just talking about the most used ones, there are plenty more. Copilot, I would say, would be closer to Gemini in style. Okay. But feel free to use
Thanks so
them all.
much, Alice. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Alice. Are there any last questions or we're all okay? You've got a nice summary of a few things to start with. I'm looking forward to the little document you're going to share with us and some other tools to investigate as well.
Yes, you have a lot of tools to play around. So, they're going to be useful, I bet.
Okay, if there's no more questions,
Oh, yes,
okay, last
definitely.
question.
Definitely in it. I often do this kind of inception. For example, if I wanna like assemble a trickier thing, for example, a app, or if I have a review on, if I want to do a lit review on some thematic, I also often put my prompt both on Claude or and ChatGPT, or on three of them on Gemini as well. Okay. It's very good if you have, because you get different perspectives. They focus on different things. So if you took the time to do your prompt with careful, and that's another advice from me, invest time in your prompts, because some will work, some of them will not. Just point out what works and invest some time in doing a proper prompt, because most of the times that people tell me, I was like, ChatGPT doesn't work for me. It's like you're doing it, probably the prompt is wrong. Okay. So make sure just fine tune your prompts, and then since you have it, I will put them on both of them, on the three of them, whatever you want, because it's always good to have different perspectives. Yes, it's like that like that the friend that you keep at bay, that friend. He's a people pleaser and you know it. But yes, definitely Claude is my technician, a very good technician. I'm very excited with these latest updates, and it shows. I use AI daily, but we have to be very aware of these risks. And if you understand how they are made, the most of especially these LLMs, because I know people will use these daily if needed. Uh, if you understand like how it works, you can work very, very in a very smooth way, let's say. Is your Claude Pay seems well? I have a pro account of a Claude, and it's true. They have a memory capacity depending on the tier you pay. Okay, so free accounts have less memory. Okay, so you can, but sometimes you cannot control what it goes to memory. So I would advise you to go to your settings and the memory and see what is stored there, because there's some informations that don't matter. It was for a very specific thing. It doesn't have to be there on the defective memory. If you have a paid account for ChatGPT, I would advise you also to create the My GPTs, which is basically a tiny specific ChatGPT just for a project, for example. If you're in a large project, create a communication assistant just for that project. Just with that database, you can put there like everything you have on the project, and we just work with that memory, and you'll never lose memory because it will just work with that knowledge base. That's very, but you can only do it if you have a paid account. Jeez. Um, if how to write prompt building. There's some good free workshops, let's call it like this, online on YouTube for about prompt building. I can include some links on the PDF if that's useful for you in it. Okay. And yes, I would say invest some time on that. It's very important.
You so much, Alice. I think there's lots of things we've now learned a lot more about the inner workings of the AI tools we're using and how what they're good for and what they're not so good for. And I think, yeah, Annette's thing at the end about prompts is maybe a good one. We got to add good things to get the nice results out.
Would be a good investment
Um,
on your time. Yes.
Perfect. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody for
Thank you,
joining us.
everyone.
And obrigada, Alice. Thank
Very
you
nice
so much.
accent.
I know that word.
Yes.
And I just wanted to invite everybody to join us for our next seminar next month. It will be on the 4th of June. It will be by Dr. Haley Clements, who will be presenting on building biodiversity and taxonomy indexes for Africa, and a really cool paper that she authored, and there were a bunch of SAEON people involved in that. So thank you everybody for joining us, and I will
Thank
be
you, everyone.
sharing Alice's little cheat sheet with you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Very nice to meet you all. Thank you so much.
Bye everyone.
Bye.